Mac, I guess WXV title on the line. What's the sort of mentality like around the group this week with the silverware on the sort of up for grabs?
Yeah, mentality is really positive this week. I think the group as a whole, we're not putting too much emphasis or focus on the silverware or the title. We're really trying to just stick to our processes and nailing what we need to play some good footy and execute the way that we want to out there on the weekend. And I think, pretty good understanding through the group that if we do that, the results should come our way.
I guess you look at this team, it's pretty settled, but obviously sort of the big storyline out of it is Ash Marsters breaking the record. I know you're only sort of a couple of caps behind as well, but can you just speak about Ash's quality as a person and what she sort of brings to this group?
Yeah, Ash is huge for this group. I think the amount of experience she has as a player and her ability to read the game, communicate the game, and we all know what she can do when she's out there with ball in hand as well. It's a massive lift. She's one of those players that plays with huge energy, huge emotion, and can really get the group going when we need her in those hard times under a post or when we need to rally together and play a really hard physical game. So incredibly exciting weekend for her. We're all really proud of her and to see how far she's come. And I think, the fact that she's been in the game for as long as she is, really that number doesn't actually do her justice. I think her experience and the value she has sits a lot higher than 33, 34 caps. But, incredible week for her. We're so proud and happy to have her as part of the group, and she plays a massive role for us both on and off the field.
It's coming into Saturday, your time. You sort of coming towards the end of double-digit tests, new experiences such as, being playing in South Africa, test yourself in Ireland and Wales. Like, from that opening game, like, where do you see the biggest growth from that sort of Pac-4 series now that you're sort of seeing yourself as a key contender for this WXB2 title?
Yeah, I think as you sort of mentioned, the increase in the number of games, the ability to play different teams, different styles of footy, and I guess with longer times together, you get that little bit more consistency of players, bit of continuity, and I think that's where we're really seeing it come together. Obviously not the best start, a bit of a rough start for us at the start of the year, but as each game goes on, we see those passes coming off, those backline moves coming off, and I think it all comes down to that ability to be on field together at training longer, but also to practice executing those things under game pressure. And we're seeing now coming into, as you mentioned, last game at WXV, that when it's on, it's looking really good, and the skill that some of the girls in this group have, it's pretty special to watch. So I think, the more games that we have, the more we continue to work together and keep the consistency through the coaches and the group now, it's only just going to keep going up in that right direction.
Mac, we'll keep talking about this game in a second, but I have to ask you as well. See Khaleesi last week, saw the photo with you and him. What was that like, getting to meet someone like that and another leader at the international rugby stage too?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty special. We kind of, I think a lot of the group was really just in awe and really humbled by the fact that someone with that calibre and that sort of name in rugby, the amount of, I guess, energy and excitement he had for our game and how he was able to recognise players within our team, within the other teams, and there was just a genuine joy and interest in the women's game and wanting to see it grow and wanting to give that support and encourage others to do the same. So I think that's pretty cool when you say someone at the top of the game that we love can sit back and still appreciate what we're doing on our side of the field and to get around the group and try and grow the game for, I guess, the world as a whole, not just in the men's space or in the women's space. I think it's pretty special. So probably a memory and experience that a lot of us will remember for a long time, but hopefully one that we see a lot of the men's space and the women's space jump aboard and start supporting each other more vocally and more openly in time to come.
That's very cool, and something, just want to expand on something you said before as well, like you kind of suggested that it's not all about the silverware this week, it's about the development of this team. But if you do focus on that trophy for just a second, what would that mean, I guess, for the women's game in Australia and the development of this Wallaroos side to kind of have something to show for the growth?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty special. I know in my time in the jersey since 2019, we probably haven't been in this position where we're really contending and really coming down to a crunch game to be able to hold silverware and to experience what that feels like. So I think for this group, it's a bit of recognition of the hard work that we've all been putting in on the field, what the coaching staff have been putting off the field, the program development as a whole. But I think just, a bit of recognition and confidence in what we're doing on the field, the skills that we have, our ability to keep pushing, to know that we want to be higher than where we're currently sitting in WXV2. We want to chase for top of WXV1, chase for sort of top of the World Cup standings. So I think, to come away with the silverware this weekend would be a huge boost of confidence. And just, I think that recognition that we're doing the right stuff, we're going the right way, and we just need to keep striving the way that we are.
And last one from me, but what do you expect from the Scots? They're obviously undefeated themselves in WSV2. Some decent performances, but what do you expect from them this weekend?
Yeah, definitely expecting a really close physical game. As you mentioned, coming off the back of 2 wins themselves, so they'll be feeling pretty confident and pretty sure in what they're putting out on the field as well. We know that they're really strong side set piece wise, being Northern Hemisphere team, Six Nations, they get a lot of that sort of rugby throughout the year. So know that we're going to have to shore up some of those areas, particularly around the scrum from last week, and we expect a really physical game again. So looking at what we've been doing well, definitely looking to continue our sort of kick pressure, our connection, and the high speed, high tempo game that we're wanting to play. But yeah, our execution, our discipline are going to have to be on point this weekend.
Oh, sorry, Gary, you go.
No, crack on. I was just going to ask, just on Scotland there, you're talking about cap numbers there. Obviously, in the Scotland squad, there's a lot of players with over 50 caps. I guess that's the kind of, the kind of games and numbers that you guys are looking to build in the future, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think this weekend, I think we're coming into game 85 as a nation. So when you compare that to what some of those Northern Hemisphere teams have played, it just shows, I think, the difference in the amount of test level footy that we've played comparatively and how new we are as a squad, not only this year, but as a nation as a whole. So, 33, incredible achievement for Ash, but as you mentioned, the more we're playing footy, I think we're seeing consistent sort of 10 test matches a year now. Hopefully in the next couple of years coming into the Home World Cup 2029, we'll have a good number of players, pushing those sort of higher honours and higher numbers than, working towards those 50s and onwards.
And guys, talk about leaders there. What do you make of Rachel Malcolm as a Scotland captain? She's also been around quite a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Rachel's a really strong player, really composed leader as well. Plenty of experience from playing through sort of the Prem, playing international footy. So I'm sure she's going to be a really good voice for them out on the field on the weekend. Really clear, smart decision maker. So again, trying not to focus too much on the opposition. We'll be making sure that we don't let those sort of things come into play, making sure our discipline's on point, making sure that we're sticking to our style and sticking to the type of rugby that we want to put out there on the weekend.
And just generally, it must be an exciting few days with this game, and then the World Cup draw a few days later. So it must be quite a buzz about everybody.
Yeah, it's really an exciting time. To be honest, there's not been too much chat around the draw over this week. I think focusing one thing at a time is the most important for where we are right now. But yeah, I think a huge time for women's rugby and huge, probably 12 months coming off the back of this weekend, looking into next year. So definitely plenty to be excited about and plenty to work on and keep building for if we all want to finish where we do next year.
Thank you.
Mac, I've just asked you as well, the news today, Cecilia's heading west to the Force. As a proud Force squad member, you must be pretty chuffed, obviously.
Yeah, West is best Finn, apparently, is what they say. That's really exciting for us. I think coming into my third season there now, seen a huge improvement in the program over the last couple of years in terms of resources, time on field, access to coaching, full-time S&C staff. And you can really see how much effort they're putting into the program over there. And I think it's really exciting now that women's rugby in Australia is getting to the point where it looks more like the men's professional outfit and players are willing to travel and able to travel now to develop their skills and to develop their tool belt. And for us, coming from a program where traditionally there's only been a few representative Wallaroos in the system to now have upwards of 5, 6, I think it's really exciting, and it's really exciting for WA and the Western Force, and probably a testament to them for the effort they're putting into the women's program. So excited to play with C next year, and I think it's starting to look like a pretty exciting squad, so watch that space.
Matt, can I just ask you, last time this two teams played 2022, I believe you were in New Zealand, but maybe not the 23, correct me if I'm wrong. That win, like the way you won, I think it's 14-12 down to 13 in those final last couple of minutes, how big was that as when you look back on it and just sort of cementing what this team was about when you sort of look back on these sort of close games where you're forced to dig deep, whether it was last year in New Zealand or even last week against South Africa?
Yeah, definitely. You're right. It was a pretty stressful game. I think we had a fair few cards down to 13 at one point. I think, similar to last weekend in that last 5 minutes we saw with our try line defence, I think it's just a testament to the connections that are growing in this group. Everyone's willingness to work hard for each other, dig in, and to really sort of represent the jersey with pride, and to not want to roll over and give in when it gets hard in those final minutes. I think looking back on both games, probably there's some decisions and some discipline areas that we can fix to not allow ourselves to get into those positions, which is hopefully what we do this weekend, and we don't have to get down to that nail biter. But the fact that we can and we have been in those moments and pulled together and pulled through, I think, it's a testament to this group and how hard they're willing to work.
You know, this sort of moment where you've contested for a WXV2 title probably would have been the sort of planning sort of, 4 or 5 months ever since Pack 4. Like, can you just tell how big of a sort of week this is just for this side in terms, and what a trophy like this would do for the squad heading into 2025?
Yeah, look, it's a really exciting opportunity to be going for silverware, but at the same time, this week, we've built our test match weeks and we've had real consistency with that. So nothing's changed in terms of how we've prepped for this game.
Just on the side as well, a real settled 15 there. Just sort of a couple of questions. First, to start with Arabella McKenzie. How was she sort of tracking that concussion, and was there a temptation, if she was fit, to throw her straight back into the fold?
Yeah, look, Bella is a really experienced player, but as you know, she's been out for quite a while now. So, to bring her back into this game was a big ask for her, and she would have been quite heavily managed. So, like you say, we've gone with consistency. Tuller's gone really well the last couple of games. So yeah, we've kind of kept with the consistency of squad.
Just on that sort of the switch of the sort of front row reserves there, was there just something in that last 15-20 minutes that you're looking to sort of rectify? I know South Africa were able to really make that game a lot closer than probably what that first 60 minutes would have suggested would have finished.
Yeah, it was a tough finish to that. Look, the props have done exceptionally well this tour. It's been a huge area of development for us as a squad, that scrum has. And tactically we've gone with 2 different props for this game, both really experienced scrummagers. So, ultimately that was the big reason for going with these 2.
I guess from your sort of perspective as well, taking a new squad straight into Pack 4, but now having, 5 or 6 further games to work with them, implant your own sort of DNA on it. How nice is it just to see some of that sort of shape and attacking flair that you want to sort of bring to the side really come through, particularly, those, you look at those sort of Wales and South Africa games, and just the way you're sort of passing the ball seemed to just closely mirror what you were saying in that first press conference about how you want to sort of attack as a Wallaroos side.
Yeah, obviously things take time, development takes time, and this group have really grown together on and off the field, and the more time they spend together, the more they get used to kind of what each other and how each other plays. So then you can start to link things, but it kind of then comes from that trust and how they've united off field, and that then allows them to play with the confidence that now they're starting to show and to play with. We always knew that this is a talented group, but it was about being able to transfer it from training into games, and now we're starting to see that. Not for as long as we want just yet, but we've seen really good glimpses of it and what they're capable of.
G'day, Joe. Hey, when you reflect on, like you said, the development of this team, and you think about Pack 4 to now, all the games in between now and then, do you feel like the team's on track to what your expectations were of them kind of coming into this stage of WXV2?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously patience is key. And I know people want kind of results overnight, and it doesn't really work like that. But we've always seen really good progress, and that hasn't always shown in the results, but we've seen good progress on and off the pitch from this group, from their testing scores around S&C and the improvements that they've made that, to their kind of high performance behaviours, to what they're now producing on field. So, that progress has been really noticeable for us, and now others are starting to see that with the way we're starting to play. Really pleased with how they've pushed on.
From your perspective, WXV, that pitting the Wallaroos up against teams who are, I guess, that same level, how good's that been to have these competitive games, and I guess what that's done to maybe your playing group and their confidence?
Yeah, just playing against different opposition has been really exciting for the group. I don't think anyone in this group have played against South Africa before, for example, playing against Northern Hemisphere teams. So just playing different opposition as opposed to so often playing New Zealand and Fiji, and we know how they play, and we know where we stand against those at the moment. So to see where we stand from from a world perspective and to take on these teams has been really important, and just having to adapt our style slightly depending on who we're playing, because South Africa is very different to Wales, for example, so that being able to adapt between those games leading into a World Cup is really good prep.
Awesome. And last one from me, but it has to be said, Ash Marsters, obviously most capped Wallaroos she will be this weekend. For you as a coach, I guess, how proud are you of what Ash is going to achieve this weekend, and such a significant milestone too?
Yeah, Ash has done incredibly well, and I think she started this tour at hooker because we had an injury, and she was able to just step in and play that position. If we needed her to play out in the back, she would do that. She's the most versatile player with an incredible skill set, and so for her to get this achievement is very much deserved. She's a real team first. She'll put the shirt on in any position we ask her to, and the way she trains and everything. She's been an incredible person and player for this group.
Hi Joe, I just wanted to ask about Scotland and what you're expecting from them the weekend.
Yeah, so obviously I know a lot of the Scottish girls pretty well, having my time in PWR. They're a really organised group. They've gone from strength to strength the last couple of years, and we've seen that with the results on field. And they've just got a huge amount of experience. They've got a lot of players over 50 caps now. That's a pretty settled team that they've got. So we know that they're an organised team, and they're a team that like to move the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned you worked with a few at Worcester, obviously. Someone like Anna Skeldon, for example, over 70 caps, I guess. Yeah. That kind of experience they've got. Just in terms of the players that you used to coach, are you looking forward to catching up with them?
Yeah, so it's been a strange sort of time. There's about 12 players here across those teams that were at Worcester with me. So, and it's lovely to see them on an individual perspective doing so well. I'll always, that Worcester group were a special group, so it's always good to see them doing well.
And just in terms of moving from sort of, club environment to international, and obviously making a big move yourself, how's the last 6 months or so been? Has it been quite a big shift for yourself?
Yeah, it's been a real whirlwind. Back and forth initially, and then Pac 4, and obviously the other New Zealand Test matches and things, and then the family came out in July. But yeah, no, it's been incredible, and on the players and staff in Australia have been super supportive of me and my family with the move.
And I guess for anybody in rugby, these are the kind of games you want to be involved in after all that build-up. Yeah,
most definitely. Like Matt said earlier, it's a great opportunity for us. We're ultimately in a final, and they don't come around very often. So to see how the girls respond and take that challenge on is an exciting one.
Thank you.
Ask further on Ash. I mean, you mentioned she could play in the centres you want to. Was there any chat from Ash being like, hey, throw me out the centres, I can do this?
Yeah, we get all sorts of chat from Ash about where she could play and what she can do, but she's great value for the squad, and she has a good amount of banter to it all as well.
I think one of the things she was saying when she was still the Rebels, the only thing that she hadn't done has been lifting the line out. So there's no trick players to expect this weekend with her, or what's the?
Yeah, she's not going to be lifted in the line out. I can categorically say that this week.
But just on a play like that, I mean, we saw the moment she sort of came up with that game-sealing turnover, just that ability to, it's rare to have such a sort of a five-tool player who can literally do anything. What does it say about her character and just her ability to adapt that, as you said, you can chuck her in at hooker if you have an injury. She can fit in seamlessly in a back row or a back line depending on whatever picture sort of comes up in a tackle defence.
Yeah, it's great, and I think we're fortunate as a squad. We have a lot of versatility in the squad, with people like Bessie being able to move out into the backs. A lot of these girls have kind of moved around in their career, but somebody like Ash to do it so seamlessly is fantastic. And 33 caps, and the scale of when you're talking about Alana Skeldon with 70 odd, but although it's not the number of tests that these girls have, the experiences that she's had over the years and having played in different countries as well, in different clubs, that experience is really, really valuable for us as a squad, for us to be able to, at the end of games like that, for those big players to be able to step up is really important.
Can I just expand just finally on a point you just made there? I mean, you have Bessie who's played the Sands as well. When you look at your... Oh, sorry. I'm going to say, when you have someone like Bessie as also the other flanker as well, like you have two essentially converted centres to back rowers. You have Caitlin Lenny who can move from lock to 8. Like, it's a real mobile but also ball-playing forward pack when you consider Eva as well. Like, how, when you're sort of planning and sort of working out the attack, how much did it sort of take just to sort of... How long has it just taken really trying to implement their skills as best as possible? Because, you know, it's rare that you have such a forward pack with those ball-playing skills and that sort of natural attacking instincts like you have.
Yeah, and that's the challenge, isn't it? Because instinctively they're such good attacking players, and if we can bring that into a little bit of structure as well, then that's when it becomes really exciting. Because in test matches, you know, we're up against really tough opposition, so, you know, that individual brilliance is great, but if we can link that to actually a little bit of structure and game understanding as well, and that's when we start to look quite dangerous.
Perfect. All from me, Jo. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jo, I might just chime in with one more actually, just quickly, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to expand on you laughing about Ash Marsters and stuff. Like, clearly, you know the squad well, you know the group well. I guess that's the benefit of being on tour, you know, around the world, the Wallaroos World Tour at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, going up north and in South Africa. Do you feel like you personally, do you feel like you're closer and you know the Wallaroos players a lot better now than maybe what you did before this tour?
Yeah, most definitely, and that's why being away with them and the camps in August are just so important, because I just genuinely feel the more you get to know them as individuals and you understand kind of what makes them tick, the more you can get out of them on field. So, you know, having breakfast together and dinner together and having those kind of just social interactions with them and getting to know them as people has been really, really important. And yeah, and they're an amazing group to work with that are super, super keen to push on. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure on this tour getting to know them all better.
Fantastic. Cheers.
Thank you.
I just briefly ask, when you're at Worcester, obviously, Evie Gallagher, quite a young player coming through, what have you made of her kind of progression at international level?
Yeah, so when Evie joined us, she'd had that bad injury that had kept her out, which was really really sad. So we kind of obviously went through that rehab process with her, and obviously now to see her, she was always such a talented player, and now she's really kind of made that position her own in that Scotland squad, which has been great to see.
I think another one that was rehab just before you left Worcester would have been Lisa Coburn as well. Quite a
Yeah.
tough mark to get.
Yeah, exactly. And she'd had a real tough run of it. So yeah, to see Lisa now consistently back out there has been really good.
All right, perfect. I'm happy to start then. Ash, first and foremost, congratulations. Like, it's an incredible honour. Like, how does that idea of being the most capped Wallaroo of all time sit with you?
Honestly, I just feel like it's another day and it's another chance to get on the field, but I have to get the jersey first, you know, so I have to make it on the field first before I pat myself out on the back.
And so do you take extra precaution then? Just, you know, trying to avoid any, just keep it real slow, you know, walking through the captain's room, just making sure you get there 100%?
Well, that's kind of me anyway, so I'm just pretty much cruisy until we get onto the field, and then, then we flick the switch, so... No, honestly, I'm just grateful that I've had a lot of opportunities to play in a green and gold jersey, and I mean, I've been a part of the program for quite some time. Took a bit of break in the middle there, taking it quite seriously, and then I think I've just really relished on the opportunities to play on an international stage.
And in doing so, you go past Liz Partu. I know you tied the record last week. Was there any words with Liz being an ex-teammate about that sort of honour? Did she reach out and congratulate you, or what's been the story?
No, it's alright. I'll reach out to her though. But no, we actually debuted together. Pretty sure we did in the same game. So for her to get that many caps, and then for me to just start catching up now is crazy. So I think. It's just a testament to how many games. Hey, that's ending.
We can make it work. We can make it work.
No, you got 10 minutes.
Got 10 minutes.
I think it's just a testament to how many games we've now been given, and which means just more opportunity for the upcoming players to supersede our record at the moment. So, I mean, it's just a starting platform. So, I hope that later on in the next coming years that we'll be superseding like 100 caps or so.
And just you look at this tour itself. I mean, you start off as a hooker. Joe joked that you could easily throw you in the back line if you wanted as well. Like, how do you approach that? Sort of being able to just fill in every position and just sort of being that ultimate team person, just not only on the field but off the field.
I think I've just been blessed to be able to like learn quickly and adapt. So I think also I've never really said no to anything. So I kind of say, yeah, whatever you want, and then I learn on the go. So yeah, sweet. Just trust that the coach knows what they're doing, and then I guess we'll just do the rest and hope for the best. But at the end of the day, footy's footy. Like whether you're sticking your head in between a scrum or on the side of it, or you're just hanging out at the back, like you're just gonna play footy anyways.
I just got to ask you, is there much banter within the group about you going clear top as the most cap Wallaroo? Like, there's a few other players in this squad who are in the 30s and stuff now, but you're top of the pile. That's going to come with bragging rights.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Is there much bragging rights, or is there much like banter or anything within the group about the fact that you're going clear top for the time Test caps record when there's other girls not too far behind, but you're still number one?
I don't think we really brag in that sense, but I'm pretty sure like I just kind of abuse that with the little ones, to be honest. I just say, hey, go carry my bag, but there's not really much bances in terms of that, because I think we're all just trying to grow the game, especially like here in Australia. Like you can see the difference between that being our top cap and then like the likes of England playing in 100 caps and plus. Like it's a really massive gap. So in terms of if you think about it, like we're kind of new here. So for us to grow, we want to help and develop our depth within the team and across our grassroots.
That's fair, and I guess you mentioned grassroots, and when you reflect on your own backstory, you know, moving from the Cook Islands to Melbourne of all places for rugby, and kind of going, you know, starting off there and in an AFL dominated state and city and excelling in rugby. What was that like starting out as a 6-year-old?
Man, I'm always grateful for my heritage. Like, I think it keeps me grounded and reminds me of like that cultural background. Really keeps me grounded and reminds me of just to be grateful for what we have in Australia. And I think even so, growing up with rugby in Melbourne, as we know, like it's all AFL dominant really, and in terms of competing against the likes of Queensland and New South Wales, we don't really compare in terms of say their stature, but that doesn't mean that we don't have talent in our state. Like it's crazy. If I think about it, there's no green and gold jersey without grassroots in Melbourne. So like I've not played anywhere else for majority of my life other than Melbourne. So for me to be able to get a green and gold jersey, that just supports that our grassroots are doing something good in Melbourne. So.
And I just want to ask you quickly as well about the Rugby World Cup. You've been to 2. There's one more coming up, obviously. Well, there's another one coming up next year. How much of a goal and a target is that for you? Is that yeah? Obviously, that's the end goal of where you want to get to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as a whole team, we're working towards not just competing in the World Cup, but winning a World Cup. So I think for not just myself, but all of our players at the moment, I think that would be a massive goal, and that we're working towards. And I think our development and the changes that we've made, the current changes that I can see coming to fruition, will really support our pathway towards World Cup.
Ash, can I just ask you that World Cup 2 years ago, the last time you played Scotland, that game probably didn't end the way you wanted to from an individual perspective, but getting that win in that manner, just what did that do for the group in terms of reinforcing the belief and those sort of having that faith in tough moments that, you know, tough teams will come through and get the win like you did?
Yeah, I think obviously just reflecting on that one, unfortunately the red card came, but the win is what really mattered, and I think what will reinforce some confidence into our team that we are capable of performing against a team that's it's quite strong, and obviously they get quite more test matches throughout the years, and I assume they would have played a few more games since then. But I think we can take confidence in what we're building here and what we've been building, especially with the last additional camps and with the long tour that we've been on. So I have no doubt that we can perform, and it's obviously like towards the end of there, I think it's going to be how much we believe in putting up a great performance on the day.
Just quickly before time runs out, you're in a unique situation where you have both like this weird centre or sort of backline experience. From an attacking perspective, what different can you sort of what sort of different attacking shape can you guys between you and Bessie sort of deliver that maybe other teams can't replicate or maybe not match that could give you an edge this weekend?
Like what else? What's something different that we can offer? Is that what you said?
Like what different skills do you girls have as a flanker group? Do you have that maybe other teams don't with your centre experience?
Oh well, Bessie comes from a crazy background of just running through people, so I have no doubt that that's what she's going to do, and I think she's proven well that she can do that, whether she plays in the centres or whether she plays in the back row. You just put a ball in her hand and she's going to run through everyone. So, and then I think like we might pull out some secret ball skills out there. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll just have to wait when we get on the field. Even I'm not sure what we do.